Okay, let's talk about one of the best ideas Yehu Garcia came up with, and that is to put four of these four cell holders together, solder them in parallel. So all the blacks are on one side, all the negatives, all the positives are on the other side here. That allows you to charge 16 cells at the same time. Since all these cells are in pairs, that allows you to actually charge 32 cells all at the same time. It has two beneficial effects. One is the number of cells that you're able to charge with one IMAX B6. The other is that it kind of balance charges all these cells at the same time. If one of these cells is going to be less than the others, and it stays that way while it's on this charger, then you know that's a bad cell. You really should pull that out of there. You should check them periodically by running your hand over them, make sure they're not getting warm. And they should start off at about the same voltage, so there's not a lot of voltage difference. Just being tied together in parallel like that causes them to self-balance. And then you're just adding the charge to it, and you're not using a balanced charger such that you're discharging a cell to get it to charge back up to be the same voltage as a cell that was higher in the first place. So whatever these started off as, and you see here, this one was 3.98 right there. This was 4.16. That's really not that much difference. Most of these other ones are in the 4s. And it also tells you that when you're charging these cells, you can charge them on the TP4056, those little chips, but they're not all going to come out at 4.2. In fact, I have only found one or two of these chargers that will actually put it out at 4.2. So you wind up with something less, something like 4.05 to 4.18 in that neighborhood. This one was only able to charge it up to 3.98. So we'll see if that one comes up in charges. Now if you look at the balanced charger, you can see that when it first started charging, this was at 5.5 amps, and now it's down to 1.7. What'll happen is this will drop to 0. That number there, the charging amps, will drop to 0, and at that point it considers that it's done, and it is done, and they'll be all pretty close to 4.2. It's worth doing. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Yehu Garcia's method of attaching four of these cell holders together. And you can see the cells underneath there. I just flipped it over. But basically I just put the four together, put some hot glue just to hold it temporarily, put some black electrical tape around the outside, and that's pretty much all you need. The number 14 wire that I have here that is actually attached to the negative rail and to the positive rail, you can put it on there. You can kind of weave it back and forth and kind of mechanically hold it in place until you solder it. But then after you've soldered it, you notice you've got all these spots here. Now I always put this on a non-conductive surface, but I'm sure people watching would say, hey, what if you short across those two? Well, what you do after you do that is you buy this liquid electrical tape in black and red, and you can find it at electrical store, Home Depot. They have this stuff, and I'm going to get pretty sloppy with this because I'm no more an artist than I am a carpenter. So liquid electrical tape, but once you've soldered all that together, and hey, this is going to be on the bottom. Who cares what it looks like, right? As long as it doesn't conduct electricity. And that's the reason why you see this little piece of foam in the background here. Because these are full of cells. I'm about to hook back up to my IMAX B6 charger. And they have those banana plugs on the end, which are two male ends sticking out there. if they were to ever touch, that'd be the end of this project. So you need to wrap it in something when it's not plugged into the IMAX B6. And I said it could take 2 or 3 different coats of this stuff in order to build it up enough to be electrically non-conductive. And that's why I put it on wax paper. I knew this thing was more of a Pablo Picasso than I am a Rembrandt.
My feeling is that new needs need new techniques, and the modern artist has found new ways and new means of making his statement.
Okay, anyway, you get the idea. If you saw it with the bare solder joints sticking out, and you're going to say, hey, you got a bare solder joint sticking out. Well, that's what you do to stop that. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.